Now, to day two of the US Women's Open, it was America's Amy Olsen after a hole-in-one who led the way after round one, but it is Shibuno of Japan who is now out in front on 6 under par. Charlie Hull is the leading British player, but she's not having the best of rounds so far today. Golf writer Sarah Forrest has been watching it all, and I'm pleased to say she joins us now. Sarah, great to see you. We'll talk about the leader in a moment, but let's focus on British hopes at the moment then. Charlie Hull has just moved to 1 under at the moment, so a little bit further off the lead, but she's produced some good stuff out there so far.
Yes, yeah, she had a little bit of a nightmare. She had a double bogey and it dropped her down to 1 under. She was actually just a couple off the lead, 1 off the lead. She was 3 under. The lead at that stage was 4 under, so she's actually dropped down. But she's had back-to-back birdies after back-to-back bogeys, so she's now 1 under. So she's pulled it back quite nicely.
Yeah, we're just seeing her birdie putt here at the first, which got her underway. So what, some 5 shots off the lead at the moment. And I've got to ask you as well, because one of the big things we've spoken about at this tournament is the number of younger players that are coming through, and a big proportion of the field who are of a young age. And we've got to draw your attention to a Swedish amateur, Lynn Grant, who's second at the moment on 4 under, who's produced some brilliant golf, just illustrating that point that this really is a tournament where a lot of young players are really making their name.
Well, that's right. If you consider the oldest player in the field at the moment is Christy Kerr at 40-something, 43 years old. It's a young field. It's a very young field, and I think that Lynn Grant is the amateur leader. She was a leader at one stage as well, co-leader at one stage. She's just a joy to watch. There's definitely movements in her golf in the future too.
And I think we've just got to draw your attention, don't we, to what has arguably the shot of the day. Sarah, we're just showing the shot produced by Maya Stark, who's also a Swedish player. What a shot that was. I mean, just a breathtaking performance, a great shot from her.
I know, absolutely stunning. I mean, it was like, but she just laughed when she got it in. I think that was a wonderful response as well. It's great.
And thoughts over the coming days then?
Thoughts over the coming days? Well, we've got a few British girls in there. You know, we've got Georgia Hall, didn't have the best day yesterday. She's pulled it back a little bit today. Her and Bronte Law are really the best British players today. If the cut is +3, we've got Jodie Shadoff, Charlie Hull and Bronte Law. And possibly, if it's +4, we might have Mel Reid in there as well. I think Lynn Grant, as you've said previously, is definitely one to watch for the future. But I've just got so much time for Christy Kerr, you know, after her accident and the age that she's at. Not that she's old, but after her accidents, 20s career wins, she's just a stalwart, really. Great to watch.
And great to get your thoughts as well. Golf writer Sarah Forrest, many thanks indeed for joining us on Sports Day tonight, and all eyes, of course, on Charlie Hull to see whether or not she can claw those 5 shots back. Welcome back to Sport Today on BBC World News. Next up, the biggest tournament in women's golf, the US Open. This year's final major has been rescheduled from June to December for the first time. It was America's Amy Olsen after a hole-in-one who led the way after round one with a 4 under par 67. But we now have a new leader in the shape of Japan's Hinako Shibuno. Golf writer Sarah Forrest has been watching. Great to speak to you, Sarah. We did have Sarah. She seems to have disappeared there. Let's hope we can bring Sarah back to reflect on those big talking points from the second round. There you are, Sarah. Great, we do have you. Let's just talk about the leader then, shall we? Hinako Shibuno. What a performance. It's been 7 under now. She leads the field by 3 shots.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. She's such a great player. For a very young player, she's only 21 years of age as well. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's her first time playing in the US Women's Open. But this isn't new to her. It was only her second time for travelling when she actually won at the AIG British Women's Open. I played golf in Japan, and I actually think Shibuna's had an advantage insofar as the rough, the yellow wiry rough that sits on the side of the fairways is actually not too difficult to play from. So I think the grass in Japan almost emulates the grass in Texas. Yeah, Lynn's currently sitting at 4 under. She's done remarkably well. Again, a youngster. She's only a year younger, a year difference to Shibuna. So another young one, another really good one to watch. Absolutely brilliant.
That's been one of the talking points, hasn't it? Such a young field, several teenagers taking part this week. It certainly gives great hope for the future of the women's game.
I think so. I think it is the future of the women's game. You know, it's obviously different to amateur level to professional level, but the professional level, definitely the youngsters are going to come through and show us exactly how to do it.
Now we're into the third round of the US Women's Open Golf. The leaders are just approaching the turn in their second rounds in Houston. Well, let's speak to golf journalist Sarah Forrest from Golf Guru Group. Sarah, thank you very much for joining us. Let's then start with the leader because Hinako Shibuno looks like she's still playing in incredible form.
Yes, yeah, she had a slightly shaky start. She dropped a shot on the first hole, 3-putted the first hole, but actually she's got it back now. She's back to 7 under.
Those Utanagon sisters, though, I mean, they're kind of hunting her down, but they're still quite a long way behind, aren't they?
Yeah, they're blowing a little bit hot and cold. You know, they get a birdie, then they drop one, they're a little bit all over, but actually Aria, the winner of Shoal Creek in 2018, is digging her heels in a little bit. I think we could see some movement there. She's now sitting 3 under and her sister is 2 under.
Let's talk about the amateur Lynn Grant, because it always fascinates me, and I think kind of anyone who's not sort of following a particular player, when you see an amateur doing really well at a major. Tell us about Lynn Grant.
Oh, it's wonderful. Swedish amateur. She's only 20 years old. She's a year younger than Shibuno, so she's very young. She's the winner of the British Open Amateur Championship. There were 10 Swedish players, 7 of them made the cut. Her dad played on the Swedish golf tour, so she's doing all right. She's, I think, finding her level. I think she's, as fair to say, for the first few holes, she's steadying now. She's -3 through 5 holes, so she's doing well.
Sarah, it's been a difficult year for all sport all over the world. How is women's golf shaping up in this kind of COVID crisis?
I think it's actually, there's two sides to women's golf, obviously the amateur golf and the professional golf. The professional golf has been a wonderful thing to watch. We're actually seeing more of it on being televised, and we can see more of it, which is wonderful. The amateur side of the golf is actually picking up too, because club members are signing in there. We're getting a good response from the ladies' golf now.
OK, Sarah Forrest from Golf Guru Group, thank you very much. So Hinako Shibuno then leading still the US Women's Open.